The Nebula's Rest Diner sat at the edge of Kepler Station, its neon signs flickering weakly against the backdrop of swirling cosmic dust. It was the kind of place where spacers grabbed quick meals between hauls, where questions weren't asked and credits spoke louder than species. Anna hunched over her half-empty cup of synthetic coffee, her scaled fingers trembling slightly as she tried to steady the mug. The young Draconian's left wing hung at an awkward angle, the membrane torn and healing poorly from an old injury that had never been properly treated. Her kind were known across the galaxy for their fierce pride and devastating strength. But Anna was different. The wing injury had left her grounded permanently, unable to fly, and in Draconian society that made her less than nothing. She'd been scraping together credits working odd jobs on the station, trying to save enough for proper medical treatment. The diner was her refuge, a place where the owner, an elderly Centaurian named Grix, let her sit for hours nursing a single drink. The door chimed as 3 Vorthac mercenaries swaggered in, their chitinous exoskeletons gleaming under the harsh fluorescent lights. They were the type who made their living intimidating smaller species, their forearms ending in razor-sharp claws that they kept deliberately visible. "Well, well," the largest one hissed, his compound eyes focusing on Anna. "Look what we have here. A broken dragon sitting all alone." Anna's scales shifted to a darker hue, a sign of distress among her people. She kept her eyes down, hoping they would lose interest and move on. "Hey, freak," another Vorthac called out. "I'm talking to you." "Please," Anna whispered, her voice barely audible. "I'm not bothering anyone." "Not bothering anyone?" The lead Vorthac laughed, a harsh clicking sound. "Your very presence bothers me. Draconian scum thinking they can sit in civilized establishments." The other patrons, a mix of traders and station workers, carefully avoided eye contact. This was Kepler Station, where everyone minded their own business. Anna was on her own. "Look at those pathetic wings," the third Vorthac sneered, reaching out with one of his clawed hands. "What kind of dragon can't even fly?" Before Anna could react, the Vorthac's palm cracked across her face with a sharp slap that echoed through the diner. Her cup shattered against the floor, synthetic coffee spreading in a dark pool. "Worthless waste of scales," the leader spat. "Maybe we should put you out of your misery." Anna touched her cheek where the blow had landed, her golden eyes filling with tears. She had endured years of such treatment, but it never got easier. The Vorthac laughed among themselves and moved to a booth across the diner, occasionally throwing cruel comments in her direction. Grix approached cautiously with a mop. "I'm sorry, child," the old Centaurian whispered, "but you know how it is. Can't afford trouble with their type." Anna nodded and quietly gathered her few belongings, leaving through the back exit into the station's maintenance corridors. She found a quiet alcove and curled up against the cold metal wall, her damaged wing wrapped around herself like a broken shield. An hour later, the diner's front door chimed again. Riza Martinez stepped inside, her coveralls stained with hydraulic fluid and quantum lubricant. Behind her came 3 other human mechanics from the station's shipyard, tough, weathered individuals who spent their days elbow-deep in the guts of starships that could crack planets in half. "Usual table, folks?" Grix called out, but there was something nervous in his voice. "Actually," Riza said, her dark eyes scanning the room, "we're looking for 3 Vorthac. Heard they might be here." The mercenaries looked up from their meal, immediately sizing up the humans. What they saw didn't impress them much. 4 average-sized mammals without natural weapons or armor. "You found us, Meat," the leader said. "What do you want?" Riza walked over slowly, her hands hanging loose at her sides. "Heard you had some fun with a young Draconian earlier. Girl named Anna. So what if we did?" The Vorthac's mandibles clicked in amusement. "The freak got what she deserved." "See, that's where we have a problem," Riza said conversationally. "Anna's been helping us with some delicate electrical work. Turns out dragon claws are perfect for microcircuitry when you can't fit your hands into tight spaces. She's been nothing but polite and hardworking." "Touching story," the second Vorthac hissed. "Now run along before—" The rest of his words were cut off as Riza's fist connected with his throat with surgical precision. Humans might not have natural weapons, but they had learned to make their soft hands very, very hard. The leader lunged forward with all 4 arms extended, but Marcus, one of Riza's crew, was already moving. The big human caught 2 of the claws on a wrench he'd pulled from his belt, while his free hand drove a plasma cutter's handle into the Vorthac's solar plexus. The third mercenary tried to flee but found his path blocked by Sarah and Tom, the remaining mechanics. What followed wasn't a fight so much as a systematic dismantling. Humans, the other species had learned too late, were persistence predators. They didn't need to be the strongest or the fastest. They just needed to be relentless, adaptable, and utterly without mercy when protecting their own. When it was over, 3 unconscious Vorthac lay scattered across the diner floor. "Grix," Riza called out to the cowering owner. "Call station security. Tell them we found these 3 trying to shake down your customers." The Centaurian nodded frantically. Riza turned to address the other patrons. "Has anyone seen Anna? We've got a job offer for her." An Altarian trader cautiously pointed toward the back exit. She left through there. Poor thing looked pretty shaken up. The humans found Anna in the maintenance corridor, still curled up in her makeshift shelter. She looked up in fear as they approached, but Riza held up her hands peacefully. "Hey there, Anna. I'm Riza from the shipyard. We heard what happened." "It's okay," Anna whispered. "I'm used to it." "Well, you shouldn't have to be," Marcus said firmly. "Nobody should." Riza knelt down to Anna's level. "Listen, we meant what we said about the electrical work. We could really use someone with your skills. Full wages, respect, and anyone who has a problem with you will have to go through us first." Anna's eyes widened. You would do that? For me?" "Kid," Sarah said with a grin. "Humans have a saying, you mess with one of ours, you mess with all of us. And as far as we're concerned, anyone willing to work hard and treat others with dignity is one of ours." For the first time in years, Anna smiled. Her scales shifted to a warm golden hue as she stood up, careful to balance with her damaged wing. "I would like that very much," she said. As they walked back through the station together, Anna couldn't help but ask, "Why? Why did you help me?" Riza shrugged. "Because that's what you do. You stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves. Besides," she added with a wink, "we humans are pretty fond of dragons, even the ones who can't fly." Behind them, the nebula's rest was already back to normal, except for 3 empty seats and a story that would spread throughout Kepler Station. The day the humans reminded everyone that strength wasn't about what you were born with, but what you chose to do with it.